Hey guys, how's it going? My name is Arthur and I'm here to share a bit about my learning experience with Ismail. But first of all, I'll just kick off telling you a bit about myself and what am I doing right now and how far has English gotten me. So I'm 27 years old, I'm currently living in Germany, in Berlin. I'm working here in an international company as a web developer. And in my daily life, I actually mostly use English. I am learning German as well. I know to some extent, but only the very basics. I do need German though. I do need German in my, well, outside of the company, let's say, going to the supermarket or stuff like that. But the very, very, very basic that I know actually helps me a lot already. But mostly I know English, and it's quite common that you find youth people, especially, that speak English here. So yeah, actually with English, I have already lived in Norway, in Greenland, which is very different, and also I have lived in Portugal, but in Portugal, of course, Portuguese. So yeah, English has done a lot for me, and I think that's how I actually ended up meeting Ismail, because I think around 7 or 8 years ago, I already knew quite some English because I learned playing video games and watching movies. And believe me, that takes you really, really far. And also, of course, listening to music. I think music is also very nice. But at some point, I was like, man, I just need to practice. I just need to practice with someone, try to structure my English just to be sure that, okay, this is good. And perhaps I didn't even have the idea of traveling or anything. I just liked English. I just had fun with English. So I decided, okay, since I'm working and I've got some money to spend in learning, I'll just go to an English school and try to try my best and try to improve it. And I went to this school named British and American at the time, but then they switched to web after some time as well. Anyways, and yeah, that's where I had many teachers, different classes, different type of classes. We had many students there, which was really cool because there was people to practice. There was someone that I could speak with. But that's the thing. I think in some classes, many classes actually I took with Ismail at the time. He was a teacher there, of course. And something that stood out about Ismail is his patience, first of all. He's a very calm guy. I think that's really nice when you're trying to learn with someone, that they just, they just have the patience to speak with you, to show you what's the right way. And it's just very flexible. It's just very, very chill. You don't have to stress out about learning, which may happen sometimes with other stuff, but I had fun. That was the most important thing for me. And the other thing that stood out about Ismail is his English, and that is very important for a teacher. I felt a bit strange because we did not have native teachers from outside. I was like, I'm not going to improve my English maybe. But I was wrong, because I remember that at that time Ismail commented that he had lived in London before, and you could definitely see that because his English was very clear and loud and clear. That's all you need. So you could understand each word that he would speak, and that makes so much difference when you are learning. Because my English, I actually got it from movies mostly. And in movies, I watched American movies. That's just my culture, as most of Brazilians. And the thing with the American English is that it's just such a mix. There's so many slangs, like slang words, and it's just not clear. It's just very informal, let's say, but not the British American, which is way more strict and more clear. They just speak very differently. but sometimes you don't understand from a native person because it's just such a different accent from what you are used with, which is the American in my case. But Ismael just mixed both. Like he had this very clear and nice English, but also his patience, you know. And not only that, but he knows how to speak. So that helped me a lot with my hearing in English because that could definitely make me understand the words, and I felt more comfortable. I felt like, okay, I can understand the words, and from now on I can understand better the harder accents. So I think those were the things that was really cool about Ismail. Definitely the best speaking teacher that we had there, and yeah, English speaking teacher, let's say. It's better. Anyways, not only that, I met Ismail outside of the classes a lot. I remember this day that I was actually just passing by the corridor and I saw him on a desk. He was sitting there watching some videos, and I just wanted to check it out, you know. And he was actually watching videos about the choir in his church, and I was like, wait a minute, I actually know this church, you know. And it turns out that we used to go to the same church, but I have never met him for some reason. And yeah, that was like a ice-breaking topic for us because we just started talking, and like I got to know that he's very, very nice. Like he's just a nice person. And that's how we became friends after all. We started speaking from there. Fun fact, in the future, I ended up going to Santa Catarina, to another state, studying in university. And in my classes, turned out that I heard the surname of one of my colleagues, which is Chimelo. And then I got to know that they were cousins. Like I had in my class the cousin of Ismail, which is just very random because I was in a different state, like nothing related. I don't know how it turned out to be, but that's how life is, you know. So yeah, many years later, it's been already, I think, 8 years then from that time. We kept talking. Ismail is actually just came to Europe. He's already living in Ireland right now, I think. And we kept in touch, you know. So at this point in life, my sister and my niece, like my sister mostly, she was learning English, and she was actually enjoying it so much. But turns out that she had stopped the classes she was taking. But I felt like, okay, but that's not cool, because if she's liking it so much as I used to, which is like the most important thing always, have fun with it, you know. I felt like she was in that part of the learning, and I was like, I'm not gonna let it happen. And then I talked to Ismail, and I was like, man, you know, I know you give some lessons to private students, and I just liked learning with you a lot. And I know how you are as a teacher. I enjoyed it so much. And here I have my sister that she could continue learning, you know, and I just spoke to him. I managed something, and anyway, ends up that my niece and my sister, they are learning together English with Ismail right now. And spoiler alert, they are having a lot of fun. And I'm not even just saying that, they are really enjoying it, which I appreciate so much, because that's how you learn, you know. They are learning a lot of songs, and it's very, like, you know, very flexible and fun, the way that Ismail teaches them. And sometimes he just sends me some messages from them speaking English. I get so excited to see, like, okay, they have a lot of progress. And that's actually in a very few classes. So, yeah, summing up, I think it's amazing to have classes with Ismail. Again, of course you can see that because I recommended Ismail to my sister and my niece. They are very important for me. They are my family, and like I want them to learn the best. And I know Ismail, and I compared, of course, I had classes with other teachers, and now I'm like balancing it out. Like, yeah, he's the best teacher I know, especially these things that I said before. So remember, Ismail is always a very patient guy. He's willing to teach you, like even outside of the classes, he'll continue doing it because he loves English. That's really cool to see as well. So yeah, he's very calm, he's very clear in his English. His English is very, very good as well. It's fun to learn with him. And yeah, most likely he'll become a very nice friend of you. So anyways, guys, that's my experience in learning with him. Remember, I have gotten very far in my life with English. You definitely should do it because it's a global language, as you may know, as you know, for sure you know. And it can open so many opportunities for you. So that's my recommendation. Go take some classes with Ismail. You can definitely improve your English if you already know some. If you don't know, he will be very, very patient to teach you from the beginning, and he's able to do it so. Okay guys, see you next time. I hope you enjoyed this video. I'm sorry if I was actually extending this video a lot, but I felt like I had a lot to tell you about, and I hope I summed it up very well. Okay, see you guys. Ciao.